Say this is the video that's going to show the apprehension of Mr. Floyd, the guy that was killed, murdered, or however you want to put it, up in Colorado by the police officer. So this video was obtained in front of the store that they actually apprehended him, but he was moved across the street where his demise actually happened. So that it's not said that he's resisting or anything, this video can really help actually serve as proof as there was no resistance and that excessive force wasn't needed. So y'all check out the video, man. You let me know what you think. The video, just have to watch it. This is actually Mr. Floyd in the vehicle right here at the top right hand side of your screen. In his look like an older model Mercedes-Benz truck. Right where the guy in all black is walking at. The guy in the khaki pants and blue shirt look like. I think Mr. Floyd is actually the driver of this vehicle. The video skips and you see the police officer approach. Both police officers approach from the top left hand of your screen from across the street from the actually storefront. You see them approaching the driver's side of the vehicle, interacting with Mr. Floyd. They also talk. I really can't tell if the police officer that actually held Mr. Floyd down, that caused him his demise, is that the officer that that's actually speaking to him right now. I can't really tell. Maybe you guys can tell. From what I'm hearing, Mr. Floyd actually had a bad check. I'm not sure now. This is just allegedly. This is what I'm reading on some sources. Now, I don't have really all the facts, but I've seen this on a few sources saying that it was because of a bad check that was wrote. I understand Mr. Floyd was a native of Houston, Texas, and he also actually grew up there. He actually joined a driver's to actually obtain a CDL to actually be a driver, commercial driver. I don't know why he was in actually Colorado, if he had family there or it's just somewhere that he actually resided at for whatever reason. They're searching the actual passenger with the red hat and red pants, actually trying to remove Mr. Floyd to the top left-hand side. The officer goes on the other side to try to assist that officer. They'll put Mr. Floyd in handcuffs. At this point, you see the passenger get out, step to the side, and there's actually a back seat person on the passenger side that also gets out. But the attention is really, so they don't see these other passengers as a threat. This officer tells the actual backseat passenger, female, to actually stand against the wall. Also ordering that passenger on the front seat to also stand against actual audio on this. So we just have to use our imagination. Here's Mr. Floyd actually coming up in cuffs. He's speaking to him something. He's clearly upset. Here's another cop car approaching from the left, top right. I'm guessing they're asking what his name is, which is, you should have got that information while he was in the car. So either they're asking him what is his name, date of birth, which is probably what they're doing, or social, because he may not have an ID. For whatever, this is just my opinion. None of these officers actually look like the officer that actually held Mr. Floyd down. He's actually interacting with Mr. Floyd, asking him, or actually in his face. He's been very aggressive about what he's asking him or what he's conversing to him. Like I say, there's no audio, so we have to use our imagination. There's a point in the video, if you keep your eye on the officers and Mr. Floyd, they will actually pick Mr. Floyd up. Invertly tightens up the cuffs on Mr. Floyd because you can see the anguish in his face. At this point. He's actually looking back at him. See, he actually tightened him up and he said something. This is when Mr. Floyd is actually taken across the street. Now, what's strange to me is that across the street where you see the film zoom in, that top left-hand side is where the accident or the murder or his demise actually happens. Now, why it happened across there, I'm not sure. But at this point, I don't see any resistance. You will see the police car actually come up right here and actually block the view of what's going on. So I don't know if they figured they had a camera there. He looks back on the street. There it is.